Yo boys, what's going on, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. So it has come up a couple of times in videos. You guys have been asking me how I have, over 100 million credits in Forza Motorsport 7, and you may see other big YouTubers with big money. So today I'm going to be telling you guys just how I did that and showing you the secret trick of the auction house. Now, I haven't actually watched any other videos on the auction house, at least for Forza 7, but that's what we're going to be discussing in this video, so stay tuned. So back in the Forza Horizon 3 days, the key of the auction house was selling the Forzathon cars, within a timely manner. You had to time it right, you had to sell at the right time of day, all that stuff to get the maximum asking price. And then, you could buy and sell flipping cars essentially. Now, in Forza Motorsport 7, it is not quite the same thing. I have tried to do that. It doesn't work the greatest. Flipping cars is kind of, well, that's kind of a Horizon game thing. In Motorsport 7, we do have a couple of new systems in place to try and prevent people from flipping cars. And these really kind of killed off the flipping car thing. So hopefully we can flip cars again in Horizon 4, because I made a bunch of money in Horizon 3 from doing that, and I really, found that pretty fun, to be honest. So hopefully they bring that back. This being said, when you do level up in Forza Motorsport 7, you have three options available. You have the option to buy a car at a discount, 50 grand cash, a driver's suit, or a mod pack. Now the driver's suit, once you purchase them all, it switches out for the others. So if you don't have any driver's suits left, just keep in mind that's just because you unlocked them all already. But anyways, these cars you get at a very steep discount. For me, it is 400,000 credits, which is the highest it goes, considering I'm level 1500 in the game. So the idea of the auction house in Forza 7 is to buy the correct cars at that discount from your wheel spins, and then sell them on the auction house for a profit of above 50,000. Now, why above 50,000? You want to sell above that 50,000 mark just because if you sell below it, theoretically you could have just selected the cash option, which is 50,000 credits, and you would have made more money. So selling cars, you have a higher threshold, a higher profit margin compared to collecting that 50,000. So what I've done to fight this is I have an entire spreadsheet in Excel with all of the prices of the discounted cars. I'm looking at it right now. I have the Alfa Romeo 8C, Bugattis, Ferraris, all of them, GTA Spano, Jaguar D-types, all Lamborghinis, all McLarens, all that stuff. I have all the prices, what the recommended selling price is, and more. But the key to this is to buy the correct cars. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't know too much about racing, Le Mans, vintage race cars, all that stuff. So my specialty is, your modern hypercars, your tuner cars, that kind of thing. So, for example, things like the McLaren P1. The McLaren P1 happens to be a very hot seller on the auction house. I'm talking incredibly hot. So we're going to use the McLaren P1 as an example in this video, as I've sold a lot of them. The McLaren P1 cost $800,000 with my $400,000 discount. From there, I take it into the upgrade shop, I tune it, I throw a pair of massive rims on it. That cost about 8 grand. Once you have your 8 grand, you spend 30 seconds saving the tune so you can use it in the future. So if you buy another McLaren P1 in the future to sell on the auction house, you quite simply hit the boxes on your remote and you'll load that tune. So you don't even have to tune it again, you can just download the same exact one. Then I head over and I go to the save paints. I have a save paint for the McLaren P1. I'm not going to tell you the exact one, although you're seeing it on screen, so it doesn't really matter, but you get the point. You load this paint and you upload it to the auction house, starting at 1 million. Now, McLaren P1s, I've sold them for 1.1, 1.2 easy, but the average, I'd say, sells for just over $1 million. So you're looking at just over $1 million, which leaves you about 215,000 roughly profit after upgrades. So 215, for a couple of extra seconds compared to that 50K, you're going to pick up a lot of money fast. Now, the only problem with this method is you obviously do have to have the 800,000 in the first place. But what I did when I started playing this game is I played through the career, I built up a bunch of money, and obviously I purchased the Ultimate Edition, and the auction house wasn't actually in the game until I think it was November, December, something like that. So I didn't have the auction house, but the second it came out, dude, I was selling cars like hotcakes. and I'd already saved up a bunch of money from beating the entire career. So if you've beaten the career, so if you have some money saved up, 10, 15 million, whatever it is, buy cars, sell them, and then you'll end up in 30 million, buy, sell, 40 million, buy, sell, 50 million. You know, it's just a cycle. That's how it works. So I make it sound like this is that easy. Now there is a little bit of risk. Some cars, well, you get stuck with them, such as the GTA Spano. I bought like 50 GTA Spanos. I had so many in my garage. These are $700,000 cars, and they were selling really good at first. But then I realized I had a bunch of them, okay? I had so many of these things in my garage, and then I just couldn't sell them. So I had to start like basically wholesaling these things for like 300,000. So I was taking a massive hit, okay? So don't be stupid and stock up like me. It's not like a grocery store. You don't have to stock up on cars, okay? Simply buy a couple, sell a couple. When somebody searches for, let's just say, a Saleen S7, another car you can buy and that I like selling, if they see that there's only a couple for sale at that particular moment, they see 5 cars and all of them are by you, like, they might not want to buy one just because they're triggered at the fact that you're selling these cars. So don't upload a bunch of them at once. Just upload maybe like 2, maybe 3. So next we're going to get into the actual technique of selling cars. Now you know what we're doing. What I do when I first get the car, I take it in, I stance it, I throw some camber on it, you know, make it look nice, all that good stuff. You want to tune it at least a little bit, even if it's changing the tire pressure, which is a free thing. You don't have to buy any upgrades for that. Save that tune to the car, and then use that instead of the regular stock vehicle. If you sell a stock vehicle, you're going to be making less off of the auction house. How Forza sees that is, you bought a car and you're selling a car. But if you go and you modify it, it doesn't see that you actually like put any race hours on it, because you don't have to actually race with the car. What it sees is, you're putting your custom tune that you spent your heart working on, and you know, your very, very perfect tune, okay? You spent hours working on. Obviously, you spent hours working on, you know, tire pressure change. And then you uploaded that so somebody could buy your perfect tune. That's how Forza sees it, so they want to reward you for that, so they let you make more money on that car. Now, yeah, that's an extreme stretch, but you can make more money with tuned cars. Just tune the car a little bit, save it. And, you know, you can also save the file as AH is what I do, so auction house, AH. And I save that to my cloud, so I can download it and install it on other cars. Now, I want to make this clear, do not share the tunes. That's cancer. Do not share the tunes so everybody else can download them. Save them for yourself, okay? Don't upload them, please. Next, what you want to do is download a paint. Now, police paints sell really well on the Aventador SV. There's a police paint for the Dubai Police Department. Sells nice. When I sell McLaren P1s, I always throw on the same paint, which is the P1 GTR paint. I have other saved liveries for my other cars as well. So always like go to a specific paint, find out what works, and sell that. The idea here is quite simple. Let's say you have a black McLaren P1 and you have a race card out, McLaren P1 GTR-esque P1. Which one are you going to buy if they're the same price? You see what I'm saying? Like, you're going to get more clicks with that, and the clicks drives up the bids, which sells cars, which means you make money. Very simple. Another very big thing is the time limit on the auction. This is very simple. You have between 1 and 24 hours, I believe. I don't even think I've checked the max in the game. And you never want to use the max. You never want to use the max, especially in Forza 7. Now, if it's Horizon 3, go ahead. On cars like the RX-7, you want as much time as possible, especially if you're like a legendary painter or something, you can sell it for a bunch of money. In Forza 7, there aren't really that many rare cars like that. The Forzathon cars haven't really picked up that much. And also, you may be wondering, well, why not set it to the max? It's going to be up there for more time, more people see it. Yes, that's true, but it's also not. You have to understand how it works. If you search a car, you're going to see the least amount of time left at the top and the most amount of time left in the bottom once you scroll through all the other cars. So if you set a car for 1 hour versus 3 hours, the 1 hour one is going to be at the very tip top. First result. 3 hours going to be a little bit further down. 12 hours way below that. 24 way below that. So what I found is 3 hours perfect medium. Why? It's really close to the top, but more people are going to have a time to search it. Now, you may have trouble selling these just because you choose a bad time of the day to list it. That's another important part. Listing it at the proper time. For me, I like listing cars at roughly 11 o'clock p.m. That's in my time zone. I don't know how that correlates with like European time zones and, you know, California and wherever else. Like, I didn't do the math for all that. But that's the time that I found works for me. So you list a bunch of cars throughout the day, see which ones sell for the highest prices, and then kind of figure it out. And I learned that trick in the Horizon 3 days when I sold a bunch of Carrera GTs and bought a bunch of cars for super cheap. So that's very important. Figure out what time it sells best for the highest price. So I used the example of the McLaren P1 for $200,000 above the original price, which is $800,000. So they'd be buying it from $1 million, I'd be buying it from $800,000. Now, before you get all excited and you're mind blown that you can make this much money in this short of a time, you have to realize that all cars are different. I could go right now buy a Celine S7. If I look at my spreadsheet right now, I can see the Celine S7 is a purchasable vehicle for $250,000. That is the actual price from the wheel spin purchase area. Now, I can sell Celines for about $400,000 to $500,000, meaning that I'm going to be profiting a good amount, $150,000, $200,000, something like that. That's pretty good. You look at Lamborghinis, a lot of Lamborghinis, such as the Aventador SV, people don't realize this, but I can purchase an Aventador SV from the wheel spin place for 300,000 credits. It's originally 700,000, with my 400,000 discount, it's down to 3. I buy it for 3, I can sell it for 7 or 6.5, you know, easy. These are the numbers that I have found. Now, obviously, they might not be the same for you. You may find a golden ratio that works super easy every time, but I've just kind of figured this out over time. I have screenshots of things that I've sold in the past. I just use screenshots in my mental database for like future sales, so I know like off the top of my head what to sell a Lamborghini Diablo for. Now, you may find cars such as the Pagani Huayra. The Huayra you can buy for $1.1 million. I believe it's the Huayra BC, actually. Huayra BC, $1.1 million. I cannot sell that car at all whatsoever, and here's why. The Pagani Huayra has a very weird price bracket system, so instead of being able to sell it for $1.2 million, what you have to do is you have to list it for either $1 million or 1.567, whatever, it's some random decimal. You can't, like, that's stupid, okay? I'm not going to be able to sell that car ever, and I have a bunch of them, so what I had to do is I had to list them all for $1 million and hope that the auction would just carry it up above 1.1. So I ended up losing money on the Huayra BCs that I purchased. So don't buy cars like the Huayra BC. What I would recommend is buying sub-$1 million cars and then selling them. I also had a problem with the Sesto Elemento, which is a $1.05 million car. I think above $1 million cars are just not going to work for this system, but anything below $1 million, buy it up, play around a little bit, make your own spreadsheets with information, and just have fun listing cars. Now, I know it sounds stupid, but like, I don't know, you might be able to use this in the future or something, VinWiki, you know what I'm saying? So if you have made it to this part in the video, I appreciate it. We're going to throw a quick little recap at you guys. So, to start things off, play the game, level up, and get cars from your wheel spins. Don't buy anything below $1 million, but buy, you know, modern cars, McLaren P1s, Ferraris, GTA Spanos, Jaguars, whatever, you know, whatever you find that you like. Get in the car, tune the car a little bit, throw some different rims on it, and throw a paint job on it. From here, go to the auction house and sell it for $50,000 above its asking price. That's what I would recommend to start out with, 50 grand. Why 50 grand? Because 50 grand's really your break-even point. If you get below 50 grand, then you're making less than you would be with just collecting the 50,000 from the wheel spin thing. So some cars you can't go 50 over, so you'd have to go the full 100,000 over. And then from there, just go a couple 100,000 up. I'd say like maybe 400,000 or so, and set the buyout. Now, another reason you don't want to set the buyout to the max is because some people just have the money and they don't want to get in a bidding war, and they don't want to wait, so they could just buy the car out, and if it's a reasonable price, you know, they're just going to buy it out, and you're going to make more money anyways. So don't set the buyout to the max, but from there, you're pretty much good. Custom paint, custom tune, save the tune file so you can use it in the future on future cars if you like how that one went. Don't list for anything more than 3 hours unless it's a very rare vehicle like a Forza edition, something like that. I sold an Acura NSX Horizon edition. It's actually Forza edition, isn't it? Motorsport edition. What you know what I'm talking about, yeah. I sold that for 1.2 million, which I was very happy with because I figured those things would, not be able to sell considering everyone gets like 2 free. I got like 2 or 3 free actually. So list it for a couple of hours, but not too long. And anyways, that's pretty much all I've got for you. I do want to quickly apologize if this voiceover was a little, like, iffy. I'm still sick, so I have to cut every 5 seconds to cough, which you can probably tell. If you didn't find this video useful in any way, I'd appreciate a like so very much. I know it's a little longer than I anticipated it being, but a like and subscribing, notification, all that stuff, you guys know what to do. I'd appreciate it so very much. So guys, have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next one. Peace out and bye-bye.